Industry Insider is only available at Promo Corner, the leader in digital marketing for the promotional products industry. Each Monday, they discuss, dissect, and debate a single issue impacting the world of promotional marketing from every industry perspective. Now, it's time for Promo Corner's Industry Insider.
Welcome to another edition of the Industry Insider, your promotional products podcast, where you can get all the nerdy news you need to know about. My name is Jeff Franklin, National Accounts Manager with Headwear USA, and I'm joined today by three other lovely folks. But before we get to them, got to tell you, we're brought to you today by our good friends over at the Promo Corner. Also always brought to you by Promo Corner, but promoshow.com is actually, they've got another one of their themed trade shows coming up. And summer is here, and they're hosting a sports and apparel theme show on Tuesday, June 29th from 11 to 3 Eastern. Distributors can go and register by clicking on the apparel and sports banner at promoshow.com, and suppliers can reach out to sales at PromoShow if they need help reserving a booth. There's going to be education, entertainment, giveaways throughout the day, so be sure to check out on June 29th between 11 and 3 Eastern. So again, distributors go to promoshow.com and click on the sports and apparel banner to register, and suppliers can email sales at promocorner.com if you're interested in a booth. Promoshow.com, the entire industry virtually. Why don't we say hi to Meg Erber today? Meg, how are you?
I'm still sweating from fighting like a girl in my barn this morning, trying to make our hype video.
Your barn is amazing. I was very jealous.
Oh, well, thank you. My Vince VJ put it all together for the most part, but right now it's like housing like storage of deck furniture and all kinds of good stuff. But yeah.
Meg, don't lift your arm. We can see the sweat rings. Come on. I'm just kidding. Stephen McFadden, all the way from Nashville today. How are you?
Hello. Yes. Pardon me. I was just, reading many books. So, which we know is not true.
That looks like your personal study.
Yes. Yeah. Live from Nashville. So a little bit of a remote visit today, but I'm excited. Excited to be here.
Explain why you're in Nashville, Stephen.
So Facilis Partners Conference is here this week. And so that is why I'm here.
You're at an in-person event, like as we speak?
Yeah. So this is I think it's my first like big live in-person event. We have 200 people here and it's pretty great. It's been, yeah, it's, I forgot though, like what it's like. So I'm ready to like retrain myself or pace myself this week. So
the marathon.
We should actually do a whole podcast topic on salespeople in general, just getting back on the road. Cause I feel like there's so much shit that's been forgotten. Like, I don't know how to pack a bag anymore. Has anybody else experienced that yet?
That is so true.
Well, it's funny because like, I was seeing there's a few supplier reps here as well. And they were like, we're freaking out. Like we've transitioned to like knowing that we have this amount of time during the day to do all of our stuff. Like we haven't been gone. Like, so now it's like we miss an hour and it's like you've missed so much stuff. It's way different now. So they're trying to figure out how to go back to the way it was a little bit. So.
All right. Well, your video just went off, so you may want to click. There you go. You're back. All right.
Hello.
Good. We are also joined today by our special guest, Jessica Gibbons Rauch, our first official repeat guest on Industry Insider. Jessica, how does it feel?
I feel so honored to be the one who has the second time. This is exciting, and I can't wait till I'm bid on 5 times and I get a special jacket.
5 times? I don't know. I think we got to cut it off after like 2 or maybe 3, right? Like I don't know. Do we go to 5 guys eventually?
I don't know. That means you're
at the pace we're going, that would be episode 600. So.
Yeah, it'd be like easily episode 600. So, I mean, I guess that would be a good thing. We'd have to revisit that when it comes. Anyhow, our topic for today, guys, we've got a whopper for you. All right, we're talking about Women's Leadership Conference, which is coming up. It is next week, it's next week, right? Beginning of the week. Mm-hmm. So, very excited to talk on the topic, and we've brought Jessica in to discuss Women's Leadership Conference. I know Meg, you and Jessica are both going this year, right? Meg, this is going to be your first time going. So
sorry, it was going up. I couldn't hear you.
Yep, no worries.
This is our first time.
Oh, it's your first time as well, Jess?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Last year I was lined up to be a speaker, but the event was canceled. So they asked me again this year. And so it'll all be remote, but it'll still be a great way to connect.
Gotcha. So what do you guys, we'll go to Jessica first. What are you most looking forward to at the event? Actually, I don't know. You know what? Before we dive into that, just in case people haven't heard the first JGR episode, we should probably still give you a good 3 to 4 minutes to explain who you are, right? I feel like that's only,
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Oh, and I'm a constant evolution of what it is I do. So I have a new thing all the time. So JGR, I am part of Trendependent with Vicki Ostrom. We do trend and analytics. I'm part of FlexPoint with Jay Bassell, where we help with social selling, LinkedIn, digital marketing. I also have my own brand, Trend on Brand, where I do all sorts of support, strategic support, whatever distributors especially need to scale their business, do whatever they need to do. And I'm also a partner in 3 Ginkgo, which is another strategic partnership. And I'm a chef on Promo Kitchen. I run the editorial area, as well as Promo Chat, which I'm doing later today. So if you are on Twitter at 2:00 Central, please jump on. I didn't realize I was hosting 2 things in one day. That's a little bit much. But I'm always looking for different things that I can do to support the industry, how we can be better, how we can be different, but in a more non-traditional role rather than selling. I was a distributor for a long time, but I love being able to help the distributors now.
Very cool. So you got your start in the industry as a distributor?
I did. I was a distributor, top 40 distributors for about 15 years here in Chicago area. And I worked from account management to upper management to director of marketing, and anything else in between. But I love this industry. I love it. At PPAI, you get that little form and you have to check the boxes and it gets to 11 plus and there's no more boxes. So we're committed at this point. Like this is it.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's been such a weird box to check. Yeah. All right. Well, what are you most looking forward to with Women's Leadership Conference since this is your first one?
Well, and since it is so different because it's not in person, but being able to actually see so many different panelists and so many different presentations is actually kind of an advantage because we can do so much on demand that it gives it, you're not going to miss anything. You won't have that fear of missing out, even though we are missing out the in-person connection. But I think that the Women's Leadership Conference, and Canada had one as well, I believe 2 weeks ago, Kate Plummer was running that. And it's such an important event to have and to have a presence and to really be able to be able to communicate with other women leaders within the industry, outside of the industry, and be able to support each other. So just having it and being able to be a part of it, that's the best thing about it.
Meg, what about you?
I saw the lineup and I was like, I just want to be around all of these amazing women. I want to hear what they have to say, makes them, they're just amazing women. I feel like they're all leaders. I aspire to be like them. I aspire to learn from them, maybe not to be like them, but I want to learn from them. I'm constantly evolving and adapting. I'm not someone that's going to sit stagnant on the sidelines and wait for things to happen. That's not me. So I was actually really nervous to ask to go to this because I'm, just my role at SNS Activewear, I'm just an outside sales rep, but I wanted to go to this so bad. I think I wanted to go last year, even in the year before. And I finally was like, I'm just going to ask. And I did. And then they let me go. But I was so excited. I think these women are amazing. They're smart. They're all leaders. I mean, look, Joanne Lance, she's like on day 1. Ronnie Wright, she's going to do yoga on day 2. There's Arlene Green, Megan Baker. There's a ton of people here. Oh, and look, day 3, JGR. I'm actually probably the most excited about hers. What are you talking about, Jessica?
So my session is focused on finding your why. What is your internal purpose? And especially in this kind of bananas time we're in, it's a great opportunity to reassess not only what you do, but why are you doing it? And why are you continuing? And I think that as women, especially, we have such a hard time being burdened with all the different things that we're doing. And I think I shared, Meg, with you a couple of statistics where women are leaving the workforce in droves because of everything that's going on. So it's a great opportunity for people to really look inward and say, why am I here? What value am I adding? And getting into that internal battle can really help focus your energy and make sure that you're going in the direction that you want to go in. I talk a lot about just being aware of what's going on, being present, being in the moment, and loving not only what you do, but why you're doing it, and the importance of that. So it's very rah-rah, very motivational, but I do have a couple of specific tips within the webinar, so you should still join.
Stephen, what are you most looking forward to about Women's Leadership Conference?
Just the people, I guess. No, well, it's interesting that you asked that, because I was sitting here thinking, I was like, not to go down the transparency pathway again, like, to throw us back into Spark memories, but I honestly don't really know a lot about women's leadership. I know of it, and I don't really hear anything after it. And I'm excited though. Like I want to know like what's being discussed, and I want to learn as well. So, I mean, having not attended for either of you, I guess we can't really get too much context there, but maybe you guys have had some experience with people that have been, that maybe you could share like some of the takeaways that you've heard from other guests or other people in your company or that you've worked with from the conference. Because I think it's great. I think it's great for the industry, and I think it's an awesome event. I just don't know what goes on.
One of the things I've noticed is it creates a great sense of community where people who attend are very close knit, and they come walking away with this whole new sense of community that I think is huge. So there is a little bit of that, like from the outside looking in, you're not going to understand it, but from the inside looking out, you can't always explain it.
Right.
But I've heard that from more than one person, how they walk out and they have these amazing connections. Like Vicki at Trendependent and Sanmar, she's gone and presented in the past. And that was one of the big things she said why she thought I should definitely do it, was because she had this great sense of community.
I find that as well. You're in a room with a bunch of, well, not in a room, you're in a virtual room with a bunch of like-minded individuals. We all have the same end game, to kind of promote each other, to kind of push each other up and inspire. And I think they're teaching different leadership skills throughout, so we can take that back to our own careers and into our own lives, personal and professional. But you really did hit the nail on the head when it comes to community. And I think that's something that you always have FOMO for afterward. You're like, oh man, look at I missed out on. And you get to see who is there. And like last year or the year before, last year it was canceled. I remember thinking, I was like, oh, I got to be part of this. Like these women are just, I keep saying amazing, but like the lineup, I mean, you got Brittany Davis. I can't stop saying that. I'm just so excited to just hang out with all these people and learn from them. And we all get to kind of just, go back and forth. And I don't know, I'm really excited about it. And when I saw there was a picture someone had posted on one of their Facebook pages, and it was like a table and had a couple of the girls that would be going, I think, and
I saw that.
Yeah, David Schultz was like, this picture's missing something, and he put a picture of himself in there, and that was really funny. I'm like, I want to be at that table.
Yeah. Hey, so question, we have a lot of women in our company. Who's the target? Like, who's the attendee? Is it specifically for like leaders? Is it managers? Is it everybody? Is it even production? Like how? I don't really know if you guys can speak to that for people that that have gone, but I'd love to know to see like how we can get involved in that way, at least, by sending people.
It's definitely meant for everybody. I know that someone that I worked with at Concord Marketing Solutions, she went and she's an account coordinator. So she's helping the other accounts do what they need to do. And she got a ton out of it. And that's going to be not only a great way to encourage people to, what is your next step in your career? Obviously, anyone who's under your management, you want them to be able to feel not only seen, heard, but also like, hey, I care. I want to know where you want to go. What else do you want to do? So allowing them to be able to attend events like this is such a great opportunity to kind of boost those individuals up. And, kind of going back to what Meg had mentioned about not being sure about asking about going, how many women especially are afraid to just say, hey, I'm interested in this. I want to do this. And they might not be wanting to ask, but this is a great opportunity for you to go and say, hey, I see you. I recognize what you're doing here. Would you be interested in attending something like this? It's a really positive experience. And that's a great way for you to be able to lift them up.
I think that's the great thing about it being virtual is that you can actually do that, a lot more freely with people. That was the one upside that we saw of, Expo Direct to You is that, a lot more people can attend that wouldn't normally get that experience, even though those that are normally in attendance aren't getting that full-fledged, feeling and that full-fledged level of immersion that you would with an in-person. But, it opens the door to a lot more people. And I guess, it would be a good time to mention that, registration hasn't closed for Women's Leadership Conference either. You guys can go to ppai.org/events and still register for Women's Leadership Conference now. So, but Stephen, to answer your question, I'm pretty sure the only real cutoff is being female.
I mean, if it's digital and you keep your camera off, I guess you could, you know.
You want to go, Steven?
I mean, I might have a wig or two I could throw on. All right, fair enough. So how many, like, give us a breakdown. I mean, from what you've heard in the past, or because I know we've talked about what you're most looking forward to, but give us a breakdown for those that maybe are on the fence about attending. What would you suggest for them to sort of kick it into next year?
Well, especially for this year, like you mentioned, it is virtual, which gives a lot more flexibility to people because you can do on demand as needed. I know for my session specifically, it's pre-recorded, but then I have a live Q&A session. So you would have to be there in the moment in order to do the Q&A session, but you can watch these in the evenings. You can watch it later. You have that accessibility. So this is actually the perfect year to kind of dip your toe in because you don't have to miss out on what you're doing from day to day and have to come back to a desk full of things to get done. You have that flexibility that you wouldn't necessarily have in person, but you can. There's really no downside to doing it because you have that flexibility.
Yeah, I think that's a big selling point this year is I know Jeff, Stephen, we've just been talking about how crazy it is, how slammed we've been. I was actually worried how I'm going to fit this into my schedule next week. The only way I would even be able to do this is if it was virtual. I'm on the East Coast, so it doesn't really start till like 10, 11, 11:30 on some days. So I can knock out some of my work in the morning, do this in the afternoon if I need to take a break. I'm actually next week, I'm doing the sustainability summit. So I'm gonna have to step away just for a little bit, but I can do that because it's virtual. So, this new hybrid environment has us all, trying different things and multitasking in ways that we never thought we would be doing. But I don't know. I think that for me, it was just a huge selling point being able to be virtual this year.
Yeah, so it does start on Monday at 10 a.m. Central Time. So if you're on the East Coast, it's 11. West Coast obviously would be earlier than that, 8 a.m. So just depends on where you're at. But yeah, I mean, the good news about that is you're starting early and then you're also ending early. So there's still plenty of time, to get your day-to-day stuff done. And there's breaks in between the sessions as well. So if you haven't registered and you've never been and you're kind of curious, it's a perfect time to go because it's probably the last year that we'll do a digital thing. I mean, I don't know, moving forward, we don't really know what's on the horizon as far as, is it going to be an in-person event only again where, that sells out and there's, a limited capacity and you might not ever get that chance to do it again. I think it's a great opportunity for people to jump in and really test the waters to see if it's something you want to continue to try to get into moving forward. So,
yeah, I did notice that there are actually a couple guys that will be there, not attending, but they'll be speaking. Our friend Javier Melendez, we love him, and Ray Rodriguez from Tech World. I know he's going to be one of the speakers. Is that right, Jessica? I know I saw them on some type of breakout group or something. What are they? Do you even know what they're talking about? I'm curious.
I don't, but I'm very excited. If it's Javi, I've got to guess probably selling through TikTok or video.
Yeah.
But he also has a new baby girl, so he's got a whole different perspective on women.
I know. That's so funny. That is so funny. Yeah, I don't know.
I wonder how much of that'll actually bleed through his presentation.
Well, at Spark, I think he had just had his baby, and didn't he bring his baby and was like, "Hey guys, look at my baby." We all us ladies would be like, "Oh."
In all fairness, I've used my daughter to hold promotional products. Like everything I get from Commons View, she's compensated, so it has the robot on it. So I think using his baby might be a good way to get some attention.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. Well, now,
by the way, Meg, thanks for buying so many cookies.
One of the other things, I mean, outside of the education and the networking and the camaraderie, one of the other big things that comes out of Women's Leadership Conference is the crowning of the Women of Achievement Award. And I know the news dropped last week about Mary Jo Tomasini winning this year. So I'm sure that's a really cool thing to sort of be a part of as well, to be there and to experience that and just to, create a little bit of that, I guess, desire to do even more as well. Right. Like, does that pull at you guys at all when you're attending something like that and you're like, oh shit, man, I need to do better. I need to win that one day.
You know how competitive I am. I'm like, if there's a competition, I'm like, I have to win it. So yes, to answer your question.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way, but I'm also a 2014 rising star because saw competition.
How many
but
other
it does-
rising
it
stars
does-
are on this podcast, Stephen?
What?
How many other rising stars are on this podcast?
I think everybody on this podcast but me is a rising star.
Meg, were you a rising star?
No.
Oh, I guess it's just me and JGR, huh?
I was too old to be a rising star by the time that award came out, or
Actually, I don't think that's true. I don't think there's an age limit on it.
Yeah, I don't think there. Yeah.
Never been a rising star. Never. Not yet.
I'll get another award. I made
You're
like,
good.
some other awards. I'm sure I'll look at my LinkedIn and see what they were, but
Fair enough. Anything else to cover on Women's Leadership Conference, guys? This has been a quick one. It's actually kind of nice.
Nice.
JGR, you got anything?
Well, just that this is the time to do it. Like if you have ever wanted to just dip your toe in a little bit and just try it out, this is a great time to do it. And women are out of the workforce in droves, so this is a great way as managers to support the women who are there or women you want to bring into your company and encourage them to learn from others as well.
Did you have any other stats or anything like that you wanted to drop? Some knowledge bombs, Jess, or no?
Oh, I have a list of stats.
Let's do it.
Yeah, because I was told that you like the stats. So
We love
according to Fortune magazine in February, the female workforce participation dropped to 57%, which is the lowest since World War II. 80% of the 1.1 million people who exited because of COVID were women. In the month of December, all the net lost jobs were by women. So this is huge. This is a detriment to the entire industry. People should always have the option to leave the workforce if they want to, but they're leaving in so many more numbers. And trying to attract people back is going to be an issue. I'm sure you guys have talked about having all the labor shortage. People don't necessarily want to go back into a traditional role. So it's a great opportunity for companies to embrace this movement and really support their female employees and finding out what do they need, how can you change so that you can be more accommodating, so that you can offset some of the burden that they're feeling right now. So one of those great ways is to encourage them to attend things like the Women's Leadership Conference to make sure that they're always being able to grow and to attain whatever goals they're looking for.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm with the labor shortage thing, I know we just talked about that, but I'm still a little bit perplexed by the numbers because according to like statistics, the unemployment rate's really not that high compared to like where it's been in the last year. I mean, I know it's not an all-time low like it has been over the last couple of years, but it's just crazy to think that there's such a labor shortage, but the unemployment rate's really, I think we're at like 6% or something like that.
Oh, that's
Well, in a lot of those cases too, people are choosing not to go to jobs that they no longer find joy in because they've had this opportunity to find something better, to do something better, to figure out what they really want out of life. That's why there's a surgence of people resigning because they want something different. So that, I think a lot of the unemployment is more unskilled labor, whereas people might have made a change.
They actually shared some of that data here at the conference. We've been going pretty in depth into a lot of those major issues, but it's really been affected on the production and manufacturing side. It's where they're seeing the huge gaps in number of people that are number of jobs available versus number of people that are unemployed. It's like just that margin of gap in production is just going through the roof. It's huge.
Yeah,
I just saw a comment from Nancy Hoffman. It looks like she's also going, and it's her first Women's Leadership Conference as well. So excited to see you there, Nancy.
and Vicky Ostrom says you're a rock star too, JGR, just so you know.
Thanks, Becky.
All right, well, if there's nothing else on Women's Leadership Conference, I guess we can launch into a quick rapid fire, yeah?
I think we can do that. I hope JGR is ready, even though we didn't talk about it ahead of time.
Were we doing
I was like,
this when
wait,
she
rapid
came in the
fire?
first time?
Okay. It's
She's
been
a
a long
vet.
time, I don't remember.
I don't remember if we did a rapid fire with her the first time because that sort of came on after we started having guests, like for a while. So
Meg, do you want
JGR,
to give me your 1-2 punch?
so basically what you're telling us is you don't listen to the show after you've been on it. Is that what you're saying?
Oh.
Maybe.
I listen.
Fair,
Comments, comments are what's the key.
Fair enough.
She's watched her own again. That's what.
All right.
That's what happened.
So at the end of each episode, we like to do a rapid fire, which basically each of us will ask a question and everybody answers it quickly. And so we wrap it up. So normally the three hosts will go, and then we'll let the special guest sort of ask the last question. In case you are caught off guard, you've got a few minutes to sort of ponder and think of a question. So I'll go first then. All right. And I'm actually going to steal this from the Promo Corner's content creator questionnaire that just came out. So if you had a choice of moving somewhere other than where you currently live, where would you move to?
Well, probably the Keys, Florida Keys or Nashville.
The Keys or Nashville. All right. Steven?
Are we talking about U.S.? If we're doing
Anywhere.
U.S.,
I mean-
I'd probably say Colorado.
All right. So Colorado in the U.S. And if not in the U.S., if there was a better place for you, where else?
I think the best place that I saw that was very similar, it would probably be Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved Germany when I did my study abroad.
Yeah. It seemed very family oriented as well too, and all like the parks and stuff. I think that'd be a good spot.
Awesome. JGR, what about you?
I would go with anywhere warmer than Chicago in the winter. I've never been here this long. I usually travel, and it gets really cold.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've been to Illinois in like, I don't know, March or April before, like blustering cold. So I can't imagine January, February there.
I was up there in Great Lakes from like I think August, where it was so hot, to April. So I did a whole winter right there on the lake through boot camp, A school. It was treacherous. It was the coldest. The cold just cuts you. I don't blame you. Not even a little
This
bit.
is why we have ASI Chicago in July when it's hotter than.
Right. Exactly. Well, I would say probably Tennessee for me. That would be like the one other state that I would probably move to. So I love Tennessee.
You want me to go next?
Yeah, you
Sure.
got it.
At your next live event, what cocktail are you ordering first at the event social?
Jameson ginger ale.
Probably a Tito's and grapefruit.
I'd say Tito's and lime. So Tito's and soda and the lime.
Not bad. How about you, Stephen? What did you
Like, I
order?
knew we had so much in common.
What did you order yesterday?
Thank you. I ordered a Cuba Libre.
Oh wait, there's mint in that, isn't there?
Rum Coke Lime. It
Okay.
It's not.
just sounds.
I didn't know it had a
fancy.
fancy name. I thought it was just a thing.
No, it's a Cuba Libre. Yeah.
It just sounds fancier.
Fair
All right.
enough.
What's your? Oh, did everyone go? Everyone good?
Yeah, you're good.
What's your favorite hobby?
You have to have time to have a hobby. And between work and kids, like where, huh?
I mean, it's not really a hobby, but I mean, I enjoy cooking. So I guess, I mean, that's a necessity, but I guess I've kind of made a hobby out of it.
We saw your pizza making skills, right? Oh no, that was Jeff.
That was me.
Jeff. Oh yeah, never mind.
I mean, obviously, I enjoy cooking too. I mean, you don't get to my size without eating a few meals, right? No, if I had to say, like what one of my favorite hobbies, it would be between like riding the motorcycle or maybe kayaking is a new one. You know, I enjoy that a lot. So,
What about you, Jess?
For the height video, I love to box. I absolutely adore it. I love I don't punch people, I punch bags. But just being able to go to like a box and burn session or a boxing session, you get so much out, feel great afterwards. I am so devastated when I have to miss my session.
Yeah.
am I hearing the up and comings of a
Yep.
leadership conference fight off between Meg Erber and JGR?
Battle Royale.
Shall we?
LDW or anything, and those who have been there when I'm there know what I'm talking about. But anyway, my hobby, I would say first and foremost, always jujitsu. Love yoga, love some stand-up. But my newest hobby, I would say, has been kayaking. I got a kayak for Mother's Day. We're going kayaking this weekend. Really excited to get in the water. But yeah, that's gonna be my this summer hobby.
Awesome. All right, Jessica, what's your question for us?
All right. So I'm going to go down to my Trendependent side here and would like to know what popular trend is going on that you would like to get rid of right now. And that includes for your children.
The she trend.
What's that?
Just like using it as a word.
Yeah.
The ice water in the veins thing. It's probably the one trending thing that I'm not a fan of.
Okay.
I don't
Just
know.
if you go on TikTok, you'll see it. I mean, it's out there.
Yeah. It's that platform that I'm not on.
All the cool kids are doing it.
I'll have to look at it. Check it out.
Meg?
I don't know. Skip me real quick. I'm not sure yet. I have a bunch of kids that annoy me, so I don't.
I can't skip you because I'm not sure either.
A trend that I would like to see go away.
I mean, I would have said fidget spinners a couple of years ago.
Yeah, they were terrible. They were terrible.
I was going to use the Poppet. If you haven't been familiar with the Poppet, it's the new fidget spinner.
Yeah.
And they're everywhere and they're horrible. And I don't understand the point.
The Poppet, is that like the
I like them.
thing on your phone?
No,
it's like
a big
a
silicone
little,
thing. Then you push
like bubble wrap, but made out of silicone. And they make them in
Yes.
shapes. And yeah, you can buy them at Walgreens right in front of the door if you can't avoid them.
Oh, I got one. Unicorns. Weird. Like it's
What's
cool.
wrong with unicorns?
Excuse me?
Like a unicorn or using the word unicorn? Because I can see different directions here.
I think I'm just unicorned out. Like everything is about unicorns here. Like everything.
I know llamas were supposed to be the new unicorn, but it never really took off.
It didn't
I
take
like
off
llamas.
the way you
Well, there's also the Pegalamacorn, which is from Fortnite.
Oh, okay. So I don't know. Real quick note, quick thing about shirts. I just want to point out. I think Steven is still wearing the one from last night, but the one that Jessica is wearing.
What? No.
The one Jessica is wearing is a Promo Kitchen t-shirt. When did that come out? 2 years ago, right?
2 years ago, that was 2020 in-person meeting.
So I
Our
actually
mixer.
had a shirt design that I put up and it was really cool. It was the Run PK, like a Run DM type thing. It didn't make it, so I'm jealous and sad.
Got little sunglasses on them.
Wow, yeah, those are cool.
wear your sunglasses at night, don't you, Steven?
He does.
Oh,
Steven,
Lord.
we're really glad you're here.
I'm glad I'm here as well.
A trend that I would like to see go away. I mean, I would have said maybe Baby Shark.
It's been gone.
Oh,
I don't
geez.
feel like that's. I mean, my kids are kind of over it, so that's good. Maybe it has gone away. I don't know.
I'm predicting all these weddings in like 20 years, and this Baby Shark is going to come on, and everyone's going to go nuts. And
Oh my God, is that going to be the new chicken dance?
Yeah, there's like an EDM version of
oh
it.
God,
Oh gosh.
Wow. Fair enough.
please
Well,
don't.
with that being said, that scary vision. This incredible Women's Leadership Conference podcast was brought to you today by our good friends at promoshow.com. They've got another themed show coming up. Summer is here, and they're hosting their sports and apparel theme show on Tuesday, June 29th from 11 to 3 Eastern. Distributors can register by clicking on the apparel and sports banner at promoshow.com, and suppliers can reach out to sales at promoshow.com if you need help reserving a booth. Look, there's going to be education, entertainment, giveaways throughout the day, so be sure to check it out on Tuesday, June 29th between 11 and 3 Eastern. And again, distributors go to promoshow.com to click on that sports and apparel banner to register, and suppliers register by contacting sales at promocorner.com if you're interested in getting a booth. Promoshow.com, the entire industry virtually. Jessica, thank you so much for joining us again. It was wonderful having
Thank
you.
you for having me.
Absolutely. All right, guys, well, join us again next week for another thrilling podcast, and we'll see you then. Take care, guys.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Promo Corner's Industry Insider. For more great content from industry thought leaders, including podcasts, blogs, and videos, visit promocorner.com.